I want to talk about the power of questions today. I am taking a course at the moment called Resilience and Acceptance in the Face of Collapse. And it's a wonderful course. There's like all sorts of resources. I'm really enjoying the learning and the studying aspect of it. But I was reflecting on our last kind of group discussion call as I was checking in with somebody that even in the face of all of this knowledge, this still feels like there's so much uncertainty, so much that I don't know. And whether that's, what form collapses is going to take, how it's going to impact me, um, what what's mine to do in the face of this. So much that I don't know. And I notice for me that when I say I don't know, it it can sometimes feel it can sometimes feel like a little bit like a defeat, like I feel a little deflated, a little contracted with the kind of, and it feels so, there's a sense of it that feels like final, like I don't know. Um, and it's not all the time, I'm definitely not saying that like I should know, but it's that, like, I think when I have an expectation that there is an answer to the question and I just haven't figured it out yet, the kind of thing, I don't know, like I don't enjoy the feeling in my body. But I'm finding myself being like much more interested in engaging with the questions that these big existential questions maybe don't have an answer, and maybe aren't meant to have an answer. And it strikes me that maybe the purpose, the sense making comes in even asking the question, and like being in relationship with the inquiry, um, that 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 does yield all sorts of information for me. Like when I pose a question and I'm not seeking to like find the answer for it, I can get much more curious about like how am I responding to the question? Like what does come up? What information, insights do I have in relationship to the question? Um, so for example, I like how questions. That seems to be an important thing here, rather than like what. Like what seems to have like a definitive answer. How seems to orient me back to, yeah, my relationship to it. Like how how do I create meaning in my life? Um, how am I navigating these times? How am I, you know, yeah, there's something I can't quite phrase it right, but like what might be mine to do. And I like these sort of questions that have a lot of possibility in them. So that's what I want to offer today. That I think the purpose of questions isn't always to yield a definitive answer. To be like, it's this, this is my purpose. This is what's meaningful. I'm increasingly like, no, I think the purpose of the questions is to be engaged in the inquiry, in the study, in the exploration that a question invites. Um, a little bit like I guess what I understand like the scientific process. That sure, like studies yield data and conclusions over time, but it's a scientific process. Like the point is to be studying uh, the phenomena, not necessarily to be able to kind of like put it in a neat box and go, cool, like we understand that one, on to the next. Um, Especially with these forces in life that defy quantifying and neatness, and like don't slot into like very tiny little boxes, to interact with those as forces, as processes, as flows, and to be curious about the experience of them. At least for me, is opening up a lot of space. It helps me tap into my curiosity. It helps me maintain or connect back to a sense of agency. That even if I don't know what the answer is, I know that I have agency about how I want to be engaged in the question. And that, in the face of, like, hopelessness and despair, feels really good to come back to a sense of, okay, I might not know the answer, but that's okay. There's still things that I can do. There are still ways that I can be in the world and be of service. Um, so yeah, that has me curious, like, what are the questions that you're asking at the moment, and how are you relating to them? When you ask yourself the question, what moves in your body? What are the little fragments of images or songs or memories that start to stir? And might you pay attention to that as being really valuable wisdom, and not just seeking the answer at the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? That's another way to think about it. So yeah, I'd love to hear how this lands for you. What comes up? Uh, Share in the comments below. Hopefully, I'll see you next time.